Grind any game out long enough and you'll come to realize there are 3 kinds of strats in every game. First is skill-based strats. Now these are the strats that you'll spend days, weeks, maybe even months grinding out just to save a second or two in the overall run. Some of these strats you'll pick up on the first few attempts, but there's also the strats you'll spend months getting just right, and even then you'll mess them up fairly often. The second is RNG strats. Now these are the strats that don't require any skill at all. You could pull them off the very first time you try them. Sometimes they have a relatively high success rate and save tons of time, but sometimes the chances are so low that the stars need to align, God himself needs to bless you, and even then you only save a few frames. It's a case of jump, cross your fingers, and pray. Third combines skill and RNG. Now, let's be honest, these strats require the most self-motivation because no matter how much time you spend grinding them out, there is always a chance that the RNG gods are not on your side. Today we're listing the 5 most difficult, most grueling, finger-breaking, stress-inducing, what am I doing with my life, strats in Contra speedrunning. Warning, the following strats were performed by trained professionals with years of experience and a little bit of crazy. Do not attempt what you're about to see at home. The Hangar is one of 3 stages in which you can pick up the barrier. This power-up gives the player invulnerability to any and all enemies, projectiles, and obstructions. One of these obstructions is the first of 3 walls found right here. It's actually possible to get to this wall before your barrier runs out, but the timing is tight. So tight that you have to perform the following moves almost flawlessly. First, you must grab the barrier and immediately jump down into the trolley below. You'll need to run along that trolley just long enough to clear this wall so that you can jump into the next platform before falling off and wasting your time. Now, jump too soon, you'll hit your head. Wait too long, and you'll miss the jump hitting the side of the platform. If you make it, you'll need to jump again at this point right here so as to land on the trolley in order to take full advantage of the boost it provides while running on top of it. Now you'll need to run shooting any trolls and trolleys that get in your way to prevent any possible lag. You'll need to clear this gap, landing on the 3rd and final trolley. You'll need to run underneath the claws trying to kill you and up onto the platform. If you manage to do all of this perfectly, you'll actually end up destroying the first wall with your barrier instead of having to shoot it. Bear in mind that the further left you can land on a trolley, the longer the boost you'll receive from it. There are 3 trolleys that you'll have to land perfectly on. Yeah, and this is just the beginning. This is probably the toughest boss kill in the game. See those 2 guns trying to kill you? How about the blue eye shooting rings at us? Rings that can actually curve towards us if they feel like it. Believe it or not, this kill is not about luck, it's all about skill, and button mashing requiring steel springs for fingers. Here's how it's done. You'll need to start on the left side of the screen. As soon as the shields open, you'll need to fire twice while running to the right. No more, no less. As soon as that second shot leaves your gun, you'll need to jump in order to reach the top shield. If you do this perfectly, 3 shields should be destroyed by the time you hit the ground. All that's left is to take out 1 more shield on the right. Don't forget to make sure you land in the perfect position to start firing straight up at the eyeball. Now it all comes down to button mashing speed. You need to jump at precisely the right time to pump as many shots into him as you possibly can. If your fingers are strong enough, you can take him out before he reaches the middle of the screen. The timing of your jumps is absolutely critical to ensuring the fastest possible kill. Oh, and by the way, in order to get to this boss, we have to consistently button mash our way through 5 rooms. Get used to finger cramps. There are admittedly a few strategies used for this one, but we're going to be talking about the fastest strat. The gist of this kill is to take out the 2 arms before going for the mouth. We do this because the mouth opens more rapidly with 2 dead arms than with 1. Killing those arms and positioning ourselves below the mouth is what's difficult here. Here's how we do it. We start almost all the way to the right. We're going to start button mashing straight up as soon as we're in position. We need to jump at a very specific time. we must not jump as soon as the arm spawns, rather we need to wait for it to start rising. If we do this right, we'll destroy that arm on its way down. As soon as we land, we start running to the left. We need to jump at the perfect moment while holding left and up. As soon as we land, we need to move over a little to the right into another very specific position. Oh, and don't forget to keep button mashing straight up. Do this right and the left arm should die almost instantly. Now we need to position ourselves as close to the middle fireball as possible so that we can deal as much damage as we can straight into the mouth of that ugly monster. If our button mashing is fast enough, one jump is all it should take to kill him. There are so many ways to lose so much time in this strat, and that is why it's on my list. This is by far the longest strat on the list, and it all has to do with ledge skips. A ledge skip happens when the player achieves more jump heights than they were supposed to. Without getting too complicated, this happens because of a fluctuating jump value in the code, which players have learned to manipulate. Now the problem is that the 4 ledge skips are scattered throughout the entire stage, which means that we have to keep manipulating the jump value all the way through. One wrong jump anywhere on the stage and the strat is ruined. Now I'm not going to go through the entire strat, instead I'll post a link in the description to another video that explains exactly how it works. I highly recommend it. There is one section of the strat worth mentioning, and that is the infamous flame jump. You have a window of roughly 3 frames to make it work. The idea is to jump so that the flame is directly below you when your jump is at its peak. This timing is insanely difficult, which is why even experienced players tend to go for the easier routes. There are 49 jumps in total that the player must get right in order to succeed. And the kicker? There's still one more strat to talk about. There are a few strats that didn't quite make the list for one reason or another. For example, the fast top flame cycle on the energy zone, similar to the flame jump on the waterfall stage and just as challenging. The leap of faith on energy zone. Now to be honest, there is no skill involved in this strat. It is the very definition of an RNG strat. You simply jump and pray. The jungle jump in the jungle stage. Just like the leap of faith, this one is pure RNG. And finally, spread rhythm. This is arguably the most important strat in the entire run and absolutely vital to anyone wanting to run the game. In fact, it's so important that it maybe warrants its own video. Of all the strats on this list, this is the only actual glitch in the run. This boss consists of 2 heads. Most of the time each head is divided into 2 heads, but every so often each pair joins into one. Each head can only take damage when it's not divided. If you can deal damage on the very first frame that the 2 heads merge, you can actually glitch it out to where it will continue to take damage even when it's separated. But before we can even think about the glitch, we must destroy the 3 shields in order to spawn the heads in the first place. These shields need to be destroyed before any trolls appear on screen. Having done that, we need to return to the center of the screen so that we can tap the fire button twice in order to glitch out both heads. It should be noted that this is a frame perfect trick, and we call it the Holy Frame. Thank you all for watching, and thank you to everyone who helped me research this. I really do appreciate it. If you think I missed any strats, or if you think I got anything wrong, feel free to tell me in the comments. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.